Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Prime Minister vows to supercharge UK science with fast-track visas. And as far as I'm concerned, this is good for leaving the EU, and maybe I just have a different viewpoint on it from the BBC, or maybe they're trying to be misleading. Who knows? It's like Boris Johnson says, "We're going to turn the UK into a supercharged magnet, drawing scientists like iron fillings from around the world." Love it. Let's do some let's do some basic science when we're talking about science. It's great. Boris Johnson has instructed the government departments to devise a new fast-track visa system to attract leading scientists to work in the UK. The PM plans to scrap the cap on Tier 1 visas for highly skilled immigrants. Currently, the limit is 2,000 a year. Yes, we also no longer want to get immigrants down to the tens of thousands, do we? So, what exactly is your vision of the future of the UK? He also wants to make the system easier for scientists and their families. Science bodies have welcomed the proposals, but warn any benefits to research could be greatly outweighed by the damage caused by a no-deal Brexit. And I strongly disagree with that. I will show why soon. The Prime Minister made the announcement at the Column Science Centre in Oxfordshire, which undertakes research on fusion power. Brilliant. Not fission anymore, we're heading into fusion. That's what the sun does. Open Britain. Oh no. It's not like London is open as well, is it? Like the video City Khan made in response to Donald Trump. Because you know how that's turning out. I mean, you can just see the headline at the top there. Man charged after police officer stabbed in head in East London. Yeah. So, speaking exclusively to BBC News about the announcement, he said that he wanted to see a greater openness to scientific top talent from around the world. "We're going to turn the UK into a kind of supercharged magnet, drawing scientists like iron filings from around the world, coming to help push forward projects like this," Fusion Research and Column, "in which we can not only take a scientific lead, but a commercial lead as well," he said. Doesn't that look awesome? EU researchers account for half the UK total scientific workforce of 211,000. Currently, they don't need visas to work in British labs. Well, exactly, and that's the thing. So the EU currently makes up half, but think of how many we're missing. For example, from America or from the Far East, China and Japan in particular, and also Korea and Singapore coming up as well, that we're missing out on them. And we could easily be bringing in more of those. Why just limit it to the EU, considering it doesn't seem as if that they care for the Anglosphere? So yeah, sure, I know America is, but you don't need to. You can bring in the Far East as well if you want. And in fact, they do go down into percentages that they say a recent Royal Society study showed more than 33% of UK research papers are co-authored with EU scientists and countries associated to the Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Programme. This compares with the 17.6% that are co-authored with US researchers. It's about double as many. So it shows that there is attempt there from America, and we all know that America likes to lead with science from the Second World War with the Manhattan Project through the Cold War shows that they want to be on the precipice, the space race as well as the arms race. So I'm pretty sure that's going to make for a fine agreement. So I don't see any worries with that whatsoever. So they say those from outside the UK currently need to go through a rigorous process supervised by the Home Office. The process is time-consuming, taking up to 100 days, and costly with a bill of about £8,000. After Brexit, new applicants from EU countries will have to go through the same procedure, prompting fears of a large scientific skills shortage. So I presume they mean those from outside the EU. Yes, right, which means we won't be giving any favours to anybody from the EU, and we'll just go global instead. Don't see an issue with that. In response, Mr Johnson has asked the Home Office and BEIS to develop a system that has no limit on numbers allowed to work in the UK under the Tier 1 exceptional talent visas. He also wants them to expand the pool of UK research institutes and universities able to endorse candidates. Well, considering the UK was able to, or Britain was able to lead the world before, simply because we cared about our education system. Scholarships were brought in a few centuries ago, I believe, under Henry VIII, maybe the seventh then, because he cared about education and saying, well, we may as well get the top talents from wherever they are, and we will help pay your education because, hey, we need you and you're going to give back a lot more than you're putting in. That you could easily do that. You could also say, well, this is an imperialist endeavor because now we're taking the top talents from other countries and their own countries need them. But it seems that we don't have a problem here, seeing Professor Sir Venki Ramakrishnan, I don't think he's originally English, president of the UK's Royal Society, has been calling for such reform since the result of the referendum on membership of the EU in 2016. Yes, they knew from then, and it's good. We can then widen our pool from just the EU to the world. And seeing as the EU is on quite a bit of a downturn and they're being too restrictive with their regulations, I think going global will be much better for the UK and the world. And maybe EU will then want to participate because at the moment they're just trying to be mean to us, and the Horizon 2020 project is an example of that. Because they say Chin Obura, I have no idea, MP, the shadow spokesperson on science and industrial strategy, said that a no-deal Brexit would be hugely damaging for British science. So they say, okay, so Mr. Johnson reiterated he did not want a no-deal Brexit, but were there to be one, he pledged to ensure the UK would continue to collaborate in great scientific projects under any circumstances. We're not only going to participate in the EU-funded Horizon schemes. It's really odd when they say EU-funded. It's like, well, okay, so it's the nation states within, and we are a net contributor, so it's mainly us. It's the same as when you're out and about and say, oh, this was funded in part by the European Union, so us. So we funded it. Why are you saying that? You just took longer because the money had to pass through your hands. You took a cut as well, which means it's a net loss. I don't care. Same as, oh, this is government funded. No, it isn't. It's taxpayer funded. What are you talking about? Government doesn't have any money. You just redistribute everybody else's money. It's just glorified mugging. Anyway, we are not only going to participate in the EU-funded Horizon schemes, we and the new UK government are determined to finance big science as well. So when these people come forward, as they are now, with plans for UK-generated fusional reactors, we are going to be championing those and supporting those as well. So the BBC goes on to say, the UK will be unable to participate fully in the EU-funded Horizon programmes once it leaves the EU, and British scientists may not be able to be involved at all if the UK leaves without a deal. But it gets better. Participation in Europe's programme to develop nuclear fusion, of which the column in England, Science Centre is a part, will also be restricted after Brexit. How ridiculous is that? You want to say that the Chinese bad with Hinkley Point, the nuclear plant? Well, it seems that everybody's doing the same thing. So yeah, they're more barbaric, and the most dangerous job in China is to be a human rights lawyer, but it's not as if they're special in trying to take up other countries. We all know Germany is trying to conquest Europe again. So, devil in the detail. UK researchers are as much concerned about the loss of scientific collaborations with EU research institutes as they are about the loss of European funding. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll do better on the world stage, and the EU will want to be part of it. Otherwise, they'll just be shooting themselves in the foot. Then again, they seem to like doing that. Who knows? They're fine taking in low-skilled people, but oh no, we'd hate to work with someone who could actually help. James Wilson, Professor of Research Policy at Sheffield University, described the proposed measures as small beer compared to the chaos, disruption and damage to the UK's attractiveness to international collaborators and mobile talent that will result from a no-deal Brexit. No, because it makes it easy for everybody, and we're not restricted by the EU regulations. Dr. Daniel Rathbun, Assistant Director of the Campaign for Science and Engineering case, welcomed the Prime Minister's powerful message, but look forward to seeing the details of his proposals. Good, I think that's very pragmatic. Good, saying yes, it's good on the surface, let's see what we got to do about it. Good man. Any new visa system must be streamlined, easy to use, and competitively priced compared to other leading science nations. Currently, UK visas are significantly more expensive than those of other countries. Yes, too much red tape. Science is also a collaborative enterprise, so it would be very beneficial if there was a streamlined process for these talented scientists to bring their teams with them to the UK. And not just their teams, but also their families, because they do want to propose to say that you can bring over your families, your dependents, your loved ones, whatever, without any fear of them not being able to work, and there won't be a restriction saying, well, you have to get a job before you can then come over, as there is at the moment. They want to make it easier and be as inviting as possible to the top talent they're trying to get. And we will say here, yes. In addition, hello there. How about British? Where were we? So in addition, he wants officials to come up with criteria that confer automatic endorsement subject to immigration checks, ensuring dependents are also able to work in the UK, and to remove the need to hold an offer of employment before arriving. Which is a thing, I suppose, that you got to take on people, I suppose, warts and all, and it's a twofer, I suppose, because it'll be easier to attract young talent who aren't pinned down and don't have any anchors or partners or children or families or any commitments like that, because it's easy for them to travel around so they won't care as much, and will be looking for new opportunities. But if it's a possibility for people to take their families with them, then you're going to be able to attract more people, and they're less likely to move. But of course, they're less likely to move in the first place, as they are to certainly from you. So, let me know what you think below. Should we just be focusing on people and to treat everybody individually, or is it worth treating somebody as a family? Do you think that's down to the businesses to decide what they want to do about it? I think there are good arguments to be made from both sides. So I'm always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think it'll be good for us because then we'll be on the world stage, or do you think it's going to be bad because we are leaving the EU? Even though I'm pretty sure everybody will be leaving the EU in a few years or 10. But yeah, let me know what you guys have to say. Do like, comment, subscribe, share this video around, all that good stuff. YouTube algorithm hates this kind of stuff, independent creators, so your help is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.